In part 2 of our webinar, we'll describe how to begin editing an existing template. We'll create groups, also known as superheaders, and finally we'll add our backup server and client fields. We find our starting job summary report by selecting the Explorer menu. The report of interest is found under Backup Manager, Management Reports, and is titled Job Summary. Click on the Job Summary report to expose possible actions we can take using this template. Because this template was developed with the Dynamic Template Designer, clicking on Customize opens the Dynamic Template Designer. Note that after initiating Customize on an out-of-the-box template that the Save button is disabled. Only the Save As capability is enabled. This ensures the out-of-the-box template remains consistent. Clicking on Save As allows us to name the report we are going to modify. Let's call the report Job Summary Webinar. We need to specify a folder in APTARE for this report to be stored. I previously created a webinar folder and will use it now. Clicking on OK writes this template into the APTARE repository. Let's begin our modifications by adding the top headers called groups in Dynamic Template Designer. We add our first group by clicking the Add Group button. Let's create our backup server group. The group name is the name we'll see in the Dynamic Template Designer, while the group title is what will appear in the final report header. I'll capitalize the titles. Clicking OK, we find the new group at the bottom of the list of report components. Note that groups are signified with a folder icon. We can drag and drop this group that we just created to the top of the list. Now let's put the backup server name into our new group. Let's also drag and drop the backup product type into this group. Now let's add our client group. Click on Add Group and enter the group name and group title. Let's place the client group under the backup server group by dragging and dropping, and organize the desired fields under this group. Note that at times Dynamic Template Designer will automatically bring in or create hidden fields necessary for the report to tie together enterprise object elements. We'll place these hidden elements that were part of the original template into the relevant group as well. All fields must appear under a group if we choose to implement group superheaders. We can collapse groups. Let's do that to the backup server and client groups. And finally, add our job information group. Moving the job information group up, we then place all remaining fields under that group. In the interest of time, we'll speed up this section of just dragging and dropping fields into this large group. One of the features of the Dynamic Template Designer that make it a nicely interactive tool is the ability to quickly adjust and see the effects of changes. To do that, save the work in progress. Now we can go into our webinar folder and run the modified report. Set the required scope parameters and generate the report. We see our new groups and reordered fields under those groups. Let's return to customizing our report. We find available enterprise object fields in the left-hand pane. Information about an enterprise object is segmented into folder-like subsections. Browse through these folders when you have time to work with the tool. For today, we find the backup server time zone under the section called Collector Status. We can drag that field into our right-hand pane. Let's place this field between the server and the product. Once again, we can save our work in progress. Now, we can simply refresh the report we left open . As desired, we have inserted the backup server time zone into our report. Once again, we click on the Customize button to resume editing our dynamic template. Let's add the attribute defined in this dataset called Application. Recall that you can define your own set of attributes, both names and values, and assign them to many objects in APTARE. Client attributes are under the Job section, and we want to select Host attributes based on the client ID. We will grab that field and place it at the beginning of the client group. While we're adding fields specific to the client, let's add the last successful job's finish date. It is located under the predefined methods area of the Jobs Enterprise object. We'll place this field after the client. Let's shorten the caption length of the field up a bit. We do that by selecting Configure Field. Let's shorten the caption to Latest Job Finish Date. For our last edit in the Client section, let's add the client host type. This field is found under the Host (Client ID) folder. We'll place the client type after the latest job finish date . We click Save, as usual, to save our work in progress and close the Dynamic Template Designer. Then, to see our work in progress, let's refresh our report. Note our server time zone, application attribute, last job finish time, and host type all appear now. I hope this webinar has increased your awareness and interest to explore the Dynamic Template Designer available in APTARE 9.1. We've covered a few of the capabilities provided by the tool here. There's much more functionality available. To further grow your skills, arrange with APTARE for additional training and explore the online documentation of the APTARE environment shown on the screen. Thank you.